and that China will open the door wider to the outside world. At this critical time period, President Xi Jinping made the very positive remarks and welcomed and endorsed by the participants, and also a hot discussions regarding the President Xi's remarks. And we also have the other head of states and also the leaders of the international institutions. They also elaborated their ideas and views on the globalization. And this is meaningful to the world development. I believe globalization is irreversible and non-stoppable. And we will also bear in mind the common interests not only in Asia but also around the world. And they have the very positive feedback on the discussions. The media just worked really hard, days and nights, and the delegates had a very detailed and constructive and engaged discussions from Boao. And on behalf of the ODA meeting organizers, I would like to extend sincere appreciations to all the journalists for your hard work and coverage of our meeting. This is our opening remark, and now the floor is open. Thank you very much. Now the floor is open. Please raise your hand, and we will give you the microphone. Please identify yourself, and only one question is allowed. Now the floor is open. From Guomi News, my question to Secretary General Zhou: would you please summarize in one sentence about this year's BFA? To summarize in one sentence, from our secretary perspective, this year's BFA, we have designed 65 different meetings around the big theme of this year, and we would like to a platform of Boao to make the Asian voice heard around the world, and also express our ideas and discussions around the common issues we are facing around the world. I believe we completed all the agendas that we designed, and we have accomplished the target we set up for 2018 BFA. Based on the hot discussions in the past few days, we think we have made the alignment in Asia. Question to Mr. Zhou. I believe this is your last time to attend the closing press conference as the Secretary General of BFA. So look back to the previous decade. What the big achievements have made, and what is your expectation for the future? For Boao Forum for Asia, I believe all of you are very familiar with the history. And the development of Boao Forum is in keeping with the development of Asia. That's against the backdrop of the financial crisis in Asia. Boao Forum was born. But we can see right now the momentum and influence is encouraging and increasing. This is also need to give the credit of the development of Asia. Right now, Asia's economic scope take 1/3 of the global business or the economies. So the Asian economies growth contribute 30% of the world economy. So we cannot underestimate the contribution made by Asian economies. So ours the biggest market of producers and commodities, and also the intra-Asia trade is even higher than the business between Asia and Europe or Asia and North Americas. We can see the interest in Asia is highly intertwined. For the voice and influence and importance of Asian economy is keeping increasing. Under this circumstance, Boao Forum is also enlarging its attractiveness and influence. Due to the size of the venue, a lot of people cannot be set in the main conference hall for the opening ceremony, so they watch a live broadcast outside the venue. So the registered delegates around 2,000. 80% of them is the entrepreneurs. 1,650. That may be the more concrete numbers for the CEOs. And talk about the big names, the top 500. We have 70 out of that top 500 sent their big boss to the Boao conference, which also reflects the importance the business world attached to the Boao conference. The Boao conference or the Boao Forum is more important with the importance of Asian economy, and we wish the attractiveness and voice of BFA will keep in this momentum. Thank you. From Hainan TV, for BFA annual conference is conducive to deal with the trade frictions between China and the United States. I also saw the media coverage in these aspects, and also some roundtable also mentioned this issue. Regarding the China and United States, we have some roundtables. We have a high representative from the United States, also from the Chinese previous MFO joined the roundtable. And Xinhua News Agency also released a media coverage or the articles regarding the President Xi Jinping met the delegates. And there is one paragraph because among those delegates there are also ones from the United States, from the Secretary of Treasury, and also the big businesses. President Xi mentioned that China put forward the Belt and Road Initiative. We want to drive the cooperation for win-win results. We not make the small circles, and we not impose business on others. we want to draw the blueprint for the Asia and also be conducive to build the RCEP. We stay committed to open global business and economies and make China's contribution to the Asian economic development as well as the global economic development, and also welcome other countries to join our endeavor and pay their contribution and also enjoy the benefits, and want to create a very favorable and enabling environment to do the business. And we welcome all the players to make their role larger in the whole process. So President Xi talked about further opening up, but Donald Trump built the blocks. The presidency also mentioned at the opening remarks, he mentioned 43 times of opening up, and this is a big differences between the presidency's opening up and Donald Trump's protectionism. And the former French Prime Minister Lafrance mentioned that a centerpiece of opening and reform is that no country can compete with China. China is leading in this, and we also need the cooperation in the global stage. This is the only way out. China will stay committed and make unwavering effort to further open its door to the outside world. And the next 40 years will be more impressive. And this is a very, very clear message delivered by President Xi at the opening ceremony. And President Xi's remarks is a very important one, and is a clear message to the outside world. It talk about the anti-globalization trend is we need to take the actions to against it. And President Xi sent a very clear message not only to Asia but also to the world. And the newly elected board directors of BFA is also the incoming member. Mentioned that the President Xi mentioned that's very closely to the situation in Philippines, and he mentioned that China will be more open and import more the imports, and the international import expo in Shanghai is fully anticipated and welcomed by the Philippines. And at the one round table, the officials from the United States mentioned that China will broaden the access of the market and will also take further actions to improve the IPRs. All these measures will be materialized, and this will make less risk and the possibilities of trade war between China and the United States. From all the above mentioned messages, no matter it's a newly elected board of directors of BFA or the members from the American Chamber of Business, all the delegates mentioned about opening up. We also emphasize opening up, reform, and innovation to realize the Asians' prosperity as well as for the world. I believe they all echo the big theme of BFA. For the 43 times of opening up mentioned by President Xi in his opening remarks, And also we look at the media coverage. More than 3,250 articles or the reports covering the BFA Annual Conference 2018. So this is 6 times more than the previous years. And that's coverage from more than 90 countries. They all mentioned opening up. This is the key word. So this is a clear against the trade protectionism from United States. If you ask me, then I will say this is a big feature or the highlight of this year's BFA. Thank you very much. We've talked about the China, ROK, and Japan. They all have a very important status in Asia, and we also see that there are many delegates from Japan and ROK. If we want to further promote the prosperity of Asia, what roles can the 3 countries play and how they can contribute their shares? Regarding China and Japan, there is a summit regarding the healthcare. So the Japanese side also attach great importance to the BFA, and you can see they also signed very high ranking officials to attend the BFA. I believe they also signed the deputy managing directors of the healthcare institutions to attend the BFA. So in the morning of April 8th, we also have the Vice Minister Zeng from the Healthcare and Family Planning Ministry had co-hosted the meeting with a counterpart from Japan. And in the afternoon, there is also another round table talking about how we can further promote the cooperation in tumor treatment between China and Japan. This is also paved the way or, let's say, provide opportunity for further strengthen the cooperation between China and Japan. We are very welcome to see this. And we also will have a meeting between the 3 countries, and Premier Li will attend the summit. So we will wait and see the further actions will be taken by the 3 countries. That's a very positive signal. So on the April 8th, we can say that's a very conductive meetings held by the China and the Japan, and also the Japanese side also signed the very high-ranking officials. I believe that's also a very encouraging signal sent from the Japanese side. Due to interest of time, one last question. From CGTN. This year marks the 5th anniversary of putting forward Belt and Road Initiative. And we also noticed that there are many roundtables regarding the BRI. So what kind of the measures will be provided, or the platform will be provided by Boao Forum to contribute to the BRI? This year, we designed 4 big roundtables or the sub-themes under the big theme, and one of it is regarding the BRI. As President Xi mentioned, that China initiate BRI, and we want to deliver the benefit not only to the Chinese people but also to the world at large. All these will operate under the sunlight, will not really do or make the small circles, will not impose any businesses on others. What we want to do is we want to build the Asian economic integration. And this is the message mentioned this morning when President Xi met the delegates from BFA. I believe this message very clearly and accurately describe our aspiration of BRI. Everything will run under the sunlight, very transparent. We will not impose no business on others, and we will not make any exclusionary circles or blocks. So the BRI not only welcome the emerging or the countries along the route, we also welcomed other countries to participate. So this year's BFA 2018 is also held by my team, but this is also our last year of our terms, and also entrusted by the committee. I'll make the conclusion. This year's board of directors established 8 years ago, so we also organized 8 times of annual conference of BFA. Besides that, we also organized 36 summits, and 25 out of them organized outside China. We also had let's say, branding meetings regarding sustainable development forum and Boao Youth Conference that's in Hong Kong, and also in Macau we have the Boao Summit of Cooperation, and started 2014. We also organized in Beijing, Hangzhou, Chongqing, Wuhan, Xi'an, organized 4 meetings among the board of directors. So the new chairman and newly elected vice chairman and the secretary general we also had a meeting between the incumbent and incoming members. We summarized the achievements made in the past 8 years and also draw up a blueprint for the coming years. I believe the BFA will be better in the future, especially in keeping with the development of Asian economies. And also thank you very much for all the medias. You know, you work really hard, and have a good rest. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Secretary General Zhou. Very impressive words and very touching. And this is the last job for Secretary General Zhou, and it also had a very smooth handover to the next board of directors. With our concerted efforts, the BFA will be better. And let's give a big applause to Mr. Zhou for your contribution. And this is the end of the prayer. Thank you.